95-93 your final as Orlando gets on the board in the series. Boston sold with a 2-1 series lead. It's Celtics postgame live. Tom Giles, Chris Forsberg, Eddie House. A third quarter in which the Celtics only scored 11 points, yet they come back, tie the game late there. We'll go through some of the highlights coming up in just a bit. They were able to tie the game, but Franz Wagner making a couple plays down the stretch and the Celtics running out of opportunities. Eddie, I'll start with your opening thoughts on this one.
Well, I think we turned the ball over too much. 21, that's uncharacteristic of us turning the ball over that many times, 21 turnovers, gave up 26 points, and we didn't really move the ball. If you look at the assist numbers that we had, we only had 15 assists. So we weren't really making them have to react to what we were doing. We were reactionary to what they were doing to us defensively. And so I think that's part of the reason we had our opportunities there late. But, you know, when you turn the ball over like that, you don't share the basketball, you don't get as easy looks as you want to, you end up being in a tough situation and you end up being in a dogfight. And this is the type of game that Orlando Magic, they want us to play. This is the type of game they want to play against us. That's the only shot that they have. So we just got to get back to us.
The Celtics were so unflappable during last year's playoff run that I think it's jarring to watch tonight. Like, that they just came unglued in so many different ways. The 21 turnovers for 26 points. You gave them more than a quarter of their total points with being careless with the basketball, something that you were so good at throughout the season, but that we knew could be an issue coming into this postseason. You look at that third quarter, and I'm not going to name names, Tom Giles, but in the pregame show, someone said, man, they've been so good in the third quarter.
They've been very good in the third quarter. As it turns out, the third quarter is the pivotal quarter in this series, and the home team is taking care of business.
3 of 17 from the field, 1 of 8 beyond the three-point arc, 7 turnovers. Thanks, Tom Giles, for bringing up how good they've been in the third quarter this year. And so the Celtics never kind of got out of that, right? Like, they got in the mud. It was interesting that they even made it late close. We can sit here and cry about the clock and whether they should have had an extra second. Like, none of that matters. You did not play good enough to win this game. You put yourself in bad positions throughout. You got a dud from KP. Like, so many things went wrong. It's amazing that you even had a chance at the finish line, but you have to be better than that, especially on the road. And it's just, the Celtics should know that by this point, and they shouldn't. They showed it throughout last year's playoff run to lock in those moments. But just a little reminder, you got to be crisp.
So, we'll get to it later.
You're mad about the voice, aren't you?
That's fine. I'm good for it. Jayson Tatum gets 36 points with the wrist. So that's, I guess, one silver line to this. But you brought it up. Kristaps Porzingis, he did not score in the second half of this game. He had 7 points at the half, did not score in the second half, had a couple rebounds late. But the Celtics in general had a hard time scoring, Eddie. I mean, when Derek White tied the game at 91, that was with 2:30 to go. They didn't score again until Derek White had the layup, or the dunk, I should say, just inside of 30 seconds. And that, again, goes back to what you're talking about. Peyton Pritchard had a turnover in there, tough shot by Jayson Tatum. They just, it wasn't the same offense that we've seen the first couple games of the series.
Yeah, it was stagnant. The offense was super stagnant. We didn't really move the basketball. We didn't move our bodies. And we got complacent. It almost looked like matchup hunting. We were trying to get the perfect matchup, and then we're going to go one-on-one. And, you know, Jaylen Brown didn't get out on the court. He wasn't out on the floor late in the game. So when I look at everything, I'm thinking to myself, like, we have to just play our brand of basketball and don't change anything, you know, because our brand of basketball obviously has been working for the past few years. So stay on script. Don't get off script. I don't care if somebody has it rocking and rolling or going. We could get him the ball another way. And it could be through ball movement. It doesn't have to necessarily be through a matchup hunt. And I think we did a lot of that. And I know that the matchup that we liked a lot was Jayson Tatum with Wendell Carter Jr. That's what we were trying to really get to a lot of. But sometimes you just got to play the game of basketball and attack the paint, get into the paint, and spray the ball out, and then guys attack again, and then, you know, just put the defense on their heels.
Yeah, and credit to the Magic. They made you uncomfortable for long stretches of this game, and their defense is going to do that, but I do think you just have to be better. You look at the fast break points throughout this series. Celtics have been so good at getting back, not allowing Orlando to get easy transition, and there was just lapses today. Most of it was off the turnovers. You just can't be that careless with the basketball. As much as you can sit there and say Tatum, silver lining, and absolutely, he was fantastic in this game, a great reason why they were even in it, but turnovers, and Jaylen Brown careless with the basketball at times. They've just got to be more crisp. they didn't get away with it tonight, and they certainly won't get away with it moving forward against other teams. So they need to lock these things up and be a little bit more shorthanded.
You go back to that third again, a 14-0 run by Orlando, an 18-1 run in total there, where they took control of the game. I know, Scal, you mentioned on the broadcast that the energy was really low. Celtics fall this one 95-93, and we have Scal and Drew joining us now, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're not going to attack the basket, you got to have offensive versatility, especially a team like Orlando. If you think because you had that 16, I think it was more like an 18-4 run at the end of the second, that it's going to be easy, it's not. Even if they quit, it's still not going to be easy. And I just thought we went in the third quarter, had a chance to put them away, and they have life, and they ended up winning the game, and now it's a series.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I mean, you see it on the screen. 5 straight losses in this building. The Celtics just struggle to score the ball here, and I don't know what it is, sight lines or something, but you got to give the Magic defense a lot of credit because they do. Cole Anthony said it. They want to muck the game up. That's their chance to win any game in this series because we know they're not as talented as the Celtics, especially with the injuries that Orlando has. Jalen Suggs, their best guard. Mo Wagner, their best bench scorer. They just don't have a lot, so they want to make the game as weird as possible. And it got to the Celtics in the third quarter.
Know, but everything. So, all right, here's my problem. Everything for the Celtics is always countering, right? If they do this, we do that. They put this guy out there, we're going to attack him, right? Everything. Well, if they crash 4 guys to the rim, they want to jam up a rebounder. Like, that is like bitty basketball, no, right? Like, we're not talking about the NBA where you have countless guys who can push the ball, kick it out to another guy who can knock down a wide open shot. So we're having trouble getting open shots. They're jamming us up on the boards. They're crashing 4, yet we still decide to walk it up, which plays into their hands. Now, listen, if I was guarding the Celtics and they had a 10-point lead on me, that is exactly what I would do. I would foul every time. I'd crash the boards. I would challenge them to run. If you look at their pace in the second half, it's not. But my point is, if you're that good, you should be able to counter that. And if you don't run, they will continue to crash 4, and now they can get second chance opportunities. A team that can't score, you don't want to give them 2-3 opportunities at a shot because that can lead to more stuff. That can lead to more Banchero, more Franz Wagner. So I just think we do such a good job of reading the defense. Well, part of reading the defense is when they crash 4 to get out and try to get something easy to the rim. And when we did that, we got stuff easy to the rim.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the Celtics dominated the glass in game 2, or plus 12, 13 offensive rebounds. Magic flipped the script, and part of it is what you're saying, Scal, with how they crashed 4. I just want to say, on the end of the game where, we thought it should have been 0.7 or 0.8 on the clock, and they didn't look at it, David Guthrie came over to us and said, we can't use replay in that situation. The only time you can look at the clock is in an end-of-game scenario if it's zeros on the clock, or to see if they got it off before the shot clock expired. Here's a text I have. The on-court officials deemed that the .3 accurately reflected when the timeout was called by Boston.
It was wrong. It was 0.8.
I mean, they got it wrong, period. The clock malfunction replay triggered can only be used if the game clock goes to 0 or should have gone to 0, which wasn't the case here. If the officials see themselves that more time should be on the clock, they can make the adjustment, but the replay cannot be used in that situation, which, let's just be honest, they got it wrong twice. They got it wrong in the inadvertent whistle because Scal talked about it in the play-by-play. Derek White makes that basket with more than 28 seconds left. You can't have a shot clock of 25. So how is there a differential smaller than 4? Yeah. How is that possible? It can't be mathematically. After the inadvertent whistle, which again is inadvertent, shouldn't happen. After the inadvertent whistle, it goes to 14 when the game clock's at 17.8. That you're missing some math there. That doesn't work. And then it's wrong at the end. It should have been 0.7 or 0.8, and they can't look at it, which is the rule. I get it, but it's just a bummer.
And all that equals out to, and we shouldn't have been in that situation, whatever, but it's the difference between 1.1 and 0.3 in the NBA is massive.
It's huge. I mean, the Celtics had no chance at the end aside from Derek White throwing it off the rim, which was the best thing they could have possibly done in the situation, but it was a really tough situation. So anyway, it's not why they lost. Just trying to provide some clarity on that whole situation and get back at it on Sunday, Giles.
Yeah, I appreciate the context because I was wondering that myself. It feels like, you watch any college basketball game, they review every single clock issue all the way down to the 10th of the second and everything else. And he thought maybe they would say, maybe we should add a little time there. They didn't. But as it stands, Orlando gets the win 95-93. Drew and Scal will be back on it on Sunday for the 7 p.m. start of Game 4.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we noticed that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.